Hey guys, RC here. Welcome back to our fifth video in the Draft Day Sports College Football series. Last video we had gotten through the first week. We had looked at how to transition from that week, take a look at the box scores and everything. And so again, as we mentioned in the first video, you want to get in the habit of hitting that home button to get back to this screen, because this is where you will be notified of emails. There's nowhere else in the game that I see that notifies you that you have an email, which is maybe the only reason you want to come here, because you can go to standings and see this, you can go to schedule and see this, but this is the only place to see the email. So this is something you want to get in the habit of, is going to that home page. All right, so we have, I guess we've sort of determined that training here does go on all season long. Now, I am looking forward to getting some feedback as to whether or not we need to create additional schedules rather than the default schedule. You know, to have that influence training during the season. And again, not sure exactly how much that affects your players, player development, or anything of that nature, but so be it. It's weird. They do have a reply. I don't know who we're replying to. I guess it's possible in an online league that you may be able to send internal emails to other teams. That may be a possibility. If anybody has messed around with multiplayer leagues, if you can confirm that in the comments below, that would be great. But that's the only reason. I don't know why I would, respond to the computer. So, and you just saw I tried to hit it. You cannot reply to this message. So that's the only thing I can fathom, is that there's some way in a multiplayer league with multiple human owners that you can communicate back and forth. So we're going to go ahead and delete this. Again, that does not reset to 0, even though it is gone, until you click on home again and get it to reset. We've talked about that. All right, let's see. So we want to go back to recruiting. All right, we noted that there were some injuries. We looked at how to look at that. Too bad there's not a way to look at that here, but that's okay. So we had already made the changes to our depth chart last video. Now, you know what? That was something I do need to come back and look. All right, so it does save it. So it must only vacate that, as we talked about last video. It must only clear this out between preseason and the regular season. That's the only thing I could think of why it did that prior to week 1. Could also explain why I had so many issues with the game in beta, because I never came in here to check this, thinking it was already done. And it was evidently blank and just using randomized players. Maybe I don't know. Maybe or I just suck. Maybe that's what it is. Anyway, so we still have our depth chart. We did get Dubé got bumped out of the number 3 spot. Irvin got taken out of the nickel spot where he was injured. And so that's good to go. So let's go back to recruiting, because I think this is the last thing we looked at. Now, we started on September 1st, and then we went to September 3rd for week 1, and now we're September 10th for week 2. Now, our recruiting points are still gone. Those are all still assigned throughout our watch list here. But we have all 68 of our scouting points left. Now, if we click on, like this guy, Elwood Quintanilla, the quarterback, ranked number 18 in the country, we had put, I think it was 7 points on him. So let's take a look here. Now he has pedestrian strength, average agility, exceptional arm, remarkable intelligence, unique accuracy. Now, I don't know what the tiers are here, what order these go in. Great speed, but we still have quite a few things that are unscouted. Now, I don't really care about his kicking abilities or his blocking abilities, and those may remain unscouted for eternity. But here's what I think is what's interesting. He's still very interested in us at 99%, but we only have a 37% report certainty. So we need to continue to scout him. So I had 7 points, but I do want to start scouting some other people. So we're going to put 4 points on him. Let's take a look here. Again, 29% here. Not as interested in as at 79%. Now, that could be because we have not offered him well, I'm going to offer him a scholarship. So we haven't offered anybody yet. Okay, so I do need to offer some scholarships. You could do that in week 1 if you wanted to. In the other game that we play, I highly recommend doing that in week 1. So it would probably stand to reason you would rather give the scholarship in week 1, let them know that you are really interested, and then you could always pull it here in week 2, 3, 4, keeping in mind that recruiting is going to be a season-long process. Now, I don't know if there's a signing day or if they just sign at random intervals. Let's see, but Yancey, we're going to go ahead and scout him with 4 points. I'm not going to offer him a scholarship. We're going to offer him 4 points, scouting report. All right, so he's still very interested, but our report certainty is low. Remarkable strength, great agility, great intelligence, unique speed, exceptional hands, and pass blocking. So, that tells me that, he'll be a threat out of the backfield possibly. So I do like that. So let's go ahead and offer him a scholarship. We're going to go ahead and put 4 points here. And I guess what you need to decide is, are you going to have enough recruiting points assigned? I guess this is your interest level, 10 being the max. And probably the way that normally works is if my team assigns 10 points, but your team only assigns 5 points, I get double the benefit of recruiting him, which could help me leapfrog over you or widen my lead over you in possibly recruiting this person. Something along those lines. Let's see. I'm just going to go ahead and put 4 points on all these guys here. Now, he was my only fullback. I have not scouted him any, but he is the only fullback that I was after. All right, these guys that I have not put any points on, I'm only going to put 3. All right, there's a tight end I'm going to offer. Let me just double check his interest. All right, so his interest has fallen off a little bit, or wasn't that high to begin with. Let's see, I'll put 4 here. We'll offer him a scholarship. All right, we're certainly going to give him 4 and an offer. Definitely going to give him 4 and an offer. Now I'm going to drop him down to 5, and the reason I'm going to do that is I'm going to come back and assign 5 points there. All right. Now, I'm not sure that's a good idea, but I want to make sure I've got those guys all covered. I'm going to offer several of the linemen. Actually, let's go up to here. I want to drop him by 5, and I'll assign him 5 and 4, and an offer. There's really no way to see their interest level or anything else, which makes recruiting in this game a little more difficult than other games that I've played. I mean, if it, even the fact you have to go to, have the game recommend players to you, um, you know, because there's just no way to go through each and every player trying to look at interest levels. It would be so much easier if you had interest level on here and you could sort by that and then sort by position as well. Um, that would be something that would be very, very helpful to me, for me to make my own choices in who I want to go after, and then be able to see at a glance, you know, are they still interested? Is it going up and down? Kind of difficult to tell. Let's see. Did I offer him? All right. He's got very high interest, but he has not been scouted yet. Okay, we just added in, so we're going to go ahead and offer him a kicker. We'll offer defensive tackle. We'll offer so you can see there's going to be a lot of juggling in here, and it looks like it might be on a weekly basis. Oh, and I am out of points. All right. Well, which is fine. So we're not going to scout those guys anymore. What I'm hoping is now, probably I should have only done 2 or 3 or 4 points the first week. And then after, maybe looks like you get a pretty good idea. And after about 5 or 6 weeks, you should have that maxed out. So we'll take a look at that. In fact, let's kind of try to make a note here on this first guy. So Quintilla. So our report certainty is 37% or 37. I'm assuming that's a percentage. And, you can see we've got everything but tackling and the last 5 here. So let's just kind of take a look after the next week what Quintilla does. And let's see, we've done, so there's our recruiting. So we do a second week of recruiting here. At this point, you would export your file if you had your depth chart and everything ready. And we're going to go ahead and go to week 2 because we've done our depth chart. Let's take a look at the game plan. All right, so it does change. Well, and again, it changes at every time, which again, that doesn't seem to make a lot of sense. I want to dial up my tempo to fast for this game. Let's save that. And let's go ahead and do week 2. All right, so again, we're back here, week 2, all the same options. Now we can see this game, and I'm going to sim the week. I'll wait for that to happen. All right, so you can see it's processing a lot of in-game information, bowl games, expectations. All right, we're up to week 3 here, so let me go ahead and save this. And you can see how everything faded here. I think that means this is working to save. It's weird that there's all these little lag spots, but that is what it is. I'm going to downsize that. So it's still saving, and there we go. All right, so let's go back to week 2. Again, I think this is something, if you sim it until you leave this screen, it should probably stay there because it should stand to reason that you're going to come in here and look at it. So if it stays here, it saves you from having to unnecessarily click to get back to where you were just at. All right, so LSU has won over Cincinnati 36-33. Cincinnati quarterback had the best game passing, 27 carries, 138 yards for our running back, and their receiver went over 100 yards. We can go to box score. And also, since I'm thinking about it right here, there is, let me go and find it. If you come to the Wolverine website and come down into the college football mods, now I haven't checked this mod, I don't know anything about it, but Slybell1 has made a real world mod, and it looks like it's gotten some pretty good reviews so far. And what's included in here? You have real team names, updated abbreviations, logos, the small ones and the large ones, conference division names, conference logos, and there's a description on how to install it to your game. And here's an example of all of the logos in the game, the big ones, the small ones that'll go in the end zones, and abbreviations and whatnot. So that'll probably be something that a lot of people would want. So thanks to Slybell one for putting this together. And I think this will be very, very useful and a heavily used mod by just about everybody. So again, that's if you come into Wolverine Studios, go to their forums, come down into the college football section under mods, and it's in there. It's here, and they probably should sticky that at some point, because I think that's going to be a real useful mod for a lot of people. And of course, that'll update these large logos here and your small logos for like in the polls here as well, and give you the real world, the real life logos that you're used to looking at. So if we take a look at the game here, so team stats, we had 24 first downs to their 17. We were 8 out of 15 on third down. Both teams put up over 400 yards of offense. We only ended up with 231 passing on 28 attempts, and we had 53 rushing attempts. So again, I'm not using the game plan that I'm not using the game plans that I set up, the pass heavy or the run heavy. So this is more in that that balanced attack, and it seems to be working well. Now I think in the next game, just for comparison's sake, well, let's finish looking through this and we will try. I don't know how long I have been recording. I forgot to set my timer. We are at 18 minutes. Okay, so we're good. We might be able to get one more week in. Anyway, you can look through here. There's your box score, your scoring summaries, your individual statistics. And now we should be able to go in and look at our team info. No, not there. Our history, season records. Okay, that probably won't come down to the end of the regular season. All right, so we could go, okay, well, here we go. So we can go up into the leaders for the stats, and you can look at the overall, or we can just go down and look at our conference. And here's our conference leader. So our quarterback is number 2 with 667 yards. He's also in the top 5 with 6 touchdowns, a 106.8 rating. We've got 282 rushing yards, 252 receiving yards, 26 points is the scoring leader for our team, and they're all kickers for the most part, except for this guy from Ole Miss. Definitely sticks out as the only non-kicker in the scoring leader category. 22 tackles for this Florida linebacker. Georgia's defensive end has 3 sacks, and we've got, let's see, free safety out of Kentucky with 3 interceptions, and then a whole bunch of other defensive backs with 1 interception. So, that's, now we are starting to see the population here. Let's go to media real quick. So, weekly highlights, no highlights to view at this time. So, I don't know if that's something you have to save or is self generated. Anyway, let's see. Yearly highlights, top performers. Okay, well, there's our top performers by week. And I guess that is graded out. Well, the weeks are mixed up. So I guess that's by touchdown. So, wow, week 2, Scott Ford, the quarterback of Florida State, threw for 8 touchdowns. Holy crap. Team basics, again, nothing in there that's different for us. That'll just show your average overall rating for players, or their prestige, I guess. Yeah, their player rating, that's players. Uh, we are starting to see population for award winners now. Newspaper. All right, 31 players committed this week. 4 players in the top 100. And this guy was the top prospect. He went to Alabama. Houston Bobcats got, so the Houston Cougars got 2 recruits. The highest ranked unrecruited, uncommitted recruit is a tight end, ranked number 1. There's some news stories. Conference players of the week. So in our conference, the Southern 14, our defensive end was named Defensive Player of the Week. And game recaps. Now, some injury news. William Byrd, linebacker, a major injury. He's out 8 to 12 weeks. So we had a big hit in injuries. And camp results. Top winners and losers. We kind of looked at this already right after training. So if we go back into our roster, now we go down to our depth chart. And if we scroll down through here, now we have Byrd, who was our linebacker. So let's look at our 4-3. And this should still be populated. Okay, here's Byrd, our middle linebacker. Now he's injured. And can't see injuries in here. All right, if you go to his player card, so he tore his PCL, so he's pretty much out for the season. But we're going to go ahead and AI set all. And Byrd's here, and now he's taken out of the rotation. So that needs to be saved. All right, we're going to go to game plan. I'm going to auto set this for right now. Go back down to normal. And then what I want to do is I want to go with my super pass on a couple of options. And I want to go with my ground and pound playbook here. So we'll just put those in a few places. And again, you may end up with 4 or 5 different playbooks, and then you can mix all those in. And again, you can see that first game that we did sim, it was with just the generic playbook, and we won the game handily. Probably the more you play with this, either the better you can do or the worse you can do. If you know what you're doing, you might do better. If you don't know what you're doing, you might do worse. And as an example, the other game that I mention every once in a while, I'm not going to mention the name of it here, but it came out in 2005. Now, same thing. You can use the default playbooks or you can create your own. And I did pretty well. I probably played for about 8 or 9 seasons, or 8 or 9 years from 2005 with just the generic playbooks. I had success. I had failures. I won national championships. I had losing records. I went to creating my own playbook, and I've done that now for about 3 or 4 years. And again, I've had good seasons, I've had bad seasons, I've won national titles. So I think it just depends on how much you can go either way and be successful. And I think right now we've shown that you can win games with the default playbooks. And now I just want to kind of mix some of these in and see how much that affects things. So we're going to save that. We already went to our depth chart. So let's check on recruiting now. All right, we've got 20 recruiting points. So let's see, can we look at committed players? Okay, but that doesn't tell me if they committed to me. All right, that's confusing. All right, Wolverine, somebody step up and help me out here, because now I evidently signed 1 or 2 players, but I have no idea who they are or how to figure out where they are. Now let's see. Now it looks like okay, well, maybe not. Here we go. Looks like he went to Florida State. So he was a 99, but okay, well, he's being recruited by all of these teams. Florida State's the leader for him, and we're no longer listed. Okay, so I'm a little confused. We had the max points each week in recruiting, and we have fallen off the map. All right, so what I need to figure out is, how do I get this guy off of my targeted list? That would be helpful to know, because I don't know how to do that. There's no way to determine that. So he's leading with Florida State now. So that's who he's probably committed to already. All right. And I guess that's the other guy. William Lee went to Alabama, and I had spent 20 points on him. So I can no longer offer scholarships or interviews or anything else. Again, it would be nice to know how to get this guy off of my list, if you can, which stands to reason I don't want him on my list anymore. So let's go back up here. So I've got my next quarterback. So we're going to up him to 10 points. Scouting reports. Now he has terrible speed, which, for a quarterback does not bother me in the least. All right, we're going to put 4 points on him and offer him a scholarship. All right. That sure looks like it should scroll faster when I'm hitting on it, but maybe that's something they can look at. So we're going to go down to the next running back. Now he's got an interest level of 44. So I'm not going to go after him. I'm going to go after this guy who's got a 99 and offer him a scholarship. All right, he's got a 92. We already have a scholarship on him. Tight end, undecided. Now why? Oh, he's only got an interest of 29. He's got an interest of 78. And I do have an offer on him already. All right, I will say I think recruiting is pretty convoluted. I'm just so used to being able to see and do more things on one screen with more data. And this might be a screen we want to get rid of, this bottom bar that's just, I mean, great, I understand it's advertising, but we already know who sold us the game because we bought it and paid money for it. Utilize this. I mean, give us more space and fit more stuff on here. I really think the recruiting needs to be relayed out to give us, some more input and some more, just more stuff in here where we can do and see more stuff and make those all those decisions from one screen. Okay, ran over. Back to what we're doing. All right, so he's got a scholarship. Let's check his scouting report. So it's not certain at all. Um, all right, he's got a scholarship. He's an 83 interest. I'm going to go ahead and give him 5 more points. No. Darnell Price, we're going to go ahead and up him and give him 4 points. We'll give him 4 points. We'll raise him up to 10, and that'll take the rest of our recruiting points. And we'll give him 4. He gets 4. Now let's come down. Now see, this is where we're missing out on some of these guys. I'm going to go ahead and hit him with 10 and offer a scholarship. I'm going to offer him a scholarship. Should have done that last week. You know what? Let's go ahead and give him 10. We're going to go ahead and offer him and give him 4. All right, and I really want to come up and get one of these cornerbacks. How about this guy? We've got 4 left. All right, can't do that. 4, and offer a scholarship there. And let's go ahead and offer him a scholarship. Offer him a scholarship. And defensive tackle. They've got scholarships. Defensive tackle, defensive end. Let's go ahead and offer the defensive end a scholarship. All right, so now I'm down to 0 here. So that means I've offered all 21 of my scholarships. I've used all my points for this week. Do not know how to get these guys off of my list that have gone elsewhere, but at least I've gotten their points back to be able to spend it somewhere else. Just out of curiosity, all right, so last time before we ran that week, we said that our report certainty was at 37%. Now we're at 46. So now we have gotten a little bit better information, but we're still not quite 50% there. So the longer you recruit them, or the more points you put on them, the better your certainty on what you're getting. But he has gone to Florida State, no longer has us in his top, and that is perfectly fine. You know what? I'm going to schedule an interview with him. Schedule an interview with the running back. And I'd like to maybe interview a couple of these defensive backs that I have scholarships on. And how about this guy right there? All right, that's enough interviews. I don't know if you can do more. I don't know what that does. Probably should interview everybody. There is an interview done. Let's see what his scouting report shows us. All right, so the interview, nothing special. All right, I don't see anything in here that tells me what that interview tells us. Okay, so anyway, let's go ahead. We already did our game plan. We added in some of our game plans, our custom game plans here. We've done our depth chart, which got rid of some of our injury guys. We've taken a look at some of the stats. I think we did. Yeah, we did this because we had the linebacker that was out. We've already checked our email for this week. Oh, we got a couple more emails. Okay, so we didn't come here first. Again, get in the habit of going there first, and you'll see a lot of this already. So there's our information on Bird. Okay, here's our William Lee did go to Alabama. Quintanilla went to Florida State. Hope they have horrible careers. Thank you very much. All right, so we're progressing. Our current guys, Hayward's making a great impression. Nobody's regressing, so everything's going in the right direction. And delete that. Now, if I click on email again, no, it will not reset. So we have to go to home again to reset that 0. And here we are, 2-0. And let's go ahead and do a third week. I think we've got enough time. Yeah, I've got about 8 minutes left on this timer, I think. Let's see. No, we're at 35 minutes. I went well over. So, all right, well, we'll go ahead and put a stop here. We've basically done 2 weeks. We've looked at recruiting. I want to go until we start landing a couple of players, but hopefully by now you know how to get your league started and how to just kind of get through each week. And I think we've covered that. If there's anything else that you guys might like me to cover in particular, hit me up in the comments. Probably in the first video would be the best one to keep them all in one place. And we'll see it. We'll see what we can do. I can't guarantee anything, but we'll see what we can do if there's anything particular that you want me to cover. Again, keep in mind, right now you probably have as many games, if not more, than I do under my belt trying to get here. But again, just wanted to try to get you guys up to speed in how to set up your league and just basically how to get through here. So I'm going to kind of wait and hear back from Gary at this point with Wolverine, see if there's anything else he wants me to cover once I get all of these put up. For him. I'm actually waiting to hear back from him as I'm recording this on the very first 2 videos that I've already released. Although I haven't posted them anywhere, they are public and people can find them if they're subscribed to my channel. But once Gary or Brooks have given me their blessing, either they or I will get these put up on the Wolverine site, and I will probably get these posted up over on the site that I'm a member of, which is SimNation, which is a gaming community. We don't make games, we just play games, and we specialize in online leagues. So I'll put all that information below. Again, if you have anything particular that you're having issues with, just from an understanding standpoint, not how to cheat the system, not how to break the game, because I haven't figured that out yet. And hopefully there's not a way to do those things, but those aren't the kind of things I'm looking to do here. What I'm trying to do is just help you start a game and understand how to get through all these screens and eventually get through an entire season and understand what it is that you're doing. And I think with 2 games, we've covered everything. It's just basically repeating all of that information week after week after week until the end of the season. And then you, just like in real college football, you get to start all over again if you don't get fired. Although the game does not have the ability to get fired, that would be something that would be kind of neat, to get fired or get job offers to move up to higher schools, especially in the career setting. I think would be a great idea. But anyway, thanks for checking these videos out. Please go back to the first video, leave any questions or comments. If there's anything that you want to see that you're not understanding, and I will see about doing a video specifically on those issues. And then, of course, I'll wait and hear back from Gary and Brooks. And if there's anything else in particular that they would like me to cover, then I will see about doing that as well. So, hey, thanks for watching, guys. I hope these videos have helped you get into the game and understand what's going on. And hey, I've had a good time kind of figuring some of this stuff out for myself. And hopefully Gary and Brooks and some of the other guys or hey, even some of you guys that are just watching these videos, if you see that I am interpreting something wrong, please show that up in the comments, so it can correct my, if I made a faux pas, let's get that corrected so everybody's on the same page. So hey, thanks for watching, and you guys take care.